Hey, Kevin Slacky from Twinfinite, talking to Nathan Vella of Cappy Games about Super Time Force.
So Super Time Force is a game that we're making for Xbox Live Arcade. It's a run and gun platformer, kind of like Contra or Gunstar, but it's also got a crazy time rewind mechanic. So game starts off, you get the chance to choose which type of character you want to play as. Right now in the demo there's 3 characters and a 4th that you can save. In the final game there'll be a whole bunch more. Each character has a regular normal attack, and then they have the ability to charge to use their special attack. So you can play as the machine gunner, you can play as the sniper, you can play as the shield guy. And so you're running around blasting robots in the face, because everybody loves blasting robots in the face. But every time that you die, the game rewinds, and you get to play alongside your past lives. So you're actually playing co-op with all of the past versions of yourself in the game. So if you start a life, go through, shoot a couple of robots, when you start again the next life, your character is going to go and actually do that alongside you. But if you manage to shoot and kill the enemy that would have killed one of your past lives, you can have the opportunity to save them, because the bullet didn't actually fire out of that enemy's gun, meaning that you've broken the space-time continuum, and you can rescue them. And they also act as a checkpoint, meaning that you rewind back just to the point where you save them, rather than all the way back to the beginning. Each of the special attacks are very kind of unique. The sniper can shoot through any walls. The machine gunner can do a spread shot. The shield character does a block, and then one of the other special characters that you get does a rocket launcher. The whole idea is that you can run through the entire level. If you're really, really good, and I mean really good, you can play through the entire level on a single life. You don't have to die. But if you do die, it actually is part of the game mechanic, part of the gameplay, rather than a punishment, because that life will come back and help you the next time you're playing. So you can actually choose to play strategically and use the shield guy, deflect a bunch of bullets, and then if you die, pick another guy with a gun and maybe wait for that shield guy to block a bunch of the bullets and snipe some of the other characters. It's also a game that we're trying to make sure is difficult but fair. It's not going to be an easy game that you're going to run through. You're going to die a lot, because dying is a significant portion of the gameplay, and it's kind of what the game's about. It's also meant to be really hectic, almost like a bullet hell shooter at times. And there also are power-ups. You can do a slow-mo power-up, which if you collect it, all the enemies on the screen go slow while you're still going normal speed, so it really speeds up the game, makes it kind of crazy. And then there's also the overdrive, which lets you shoot your super infinite times. So basically every shot you take will be your super. So right now you're playing as the shield guy, and the shield guy actually can reflect bullets as his super. But you got to be careful, because each character can only live in this time continuum for a limited amount of time. So you start off with 30 seconds. Every time you kill enemies, that adds to your time. But right now, you're running out of time, and pretty soon you're just going to phase out. You don't actually lose a life for that, but you do have to restart. All the art in the game is done by 2 guys, Mike and Vic. They're twin brothers, and the coding is done by 1 guy, Kenneth. The game actually started as a Game Jam game out of Toronto Game Jam, which is like a really big game jam that a couple of our friends run. This year there was about 400 people in it. And so Ken, Mike, and Vic made this game in 2 days. And then we just kept working on it afterwards, because we really loved the idea. We had a ton of fun making it. And so it's kind of this neat little studio side project. We have a couple other games that we're making while we make this, kind of just on Fridays or a few days a week or a couple days a week, whenever we get a chance to. But it's it's one of those games that we see a lot of potential in. We've been having a ton of fun making it, so we're just going to keep throwing crazy stuff in until it's ready. And we think it'll probably hit XBLA sometime early next year. I'm not exactly sure, because we do want to make sure that we get a chance to throw all the crazy crap in, that we make sure it's full of that insanity, make sure it's full of jokes, make sure it's full of crazy power-ups. And yeah, that's Super Time Force. It's kind of our ode to the games that we used to love when we were kids, the Contras and the Gunstars, but also trying to plug in some modern design sensibility with the time mechanic a la Braid, or even Cursor 10 if you're into the really independent stuff.